Well, welcome to a solo podcast on Imperfect, the Heart Centered Leadership podcast. I haven't been on in a while, and I thought, what a way to spend Friday, December the 13th, lucky Friday the 13th, just doing a recap of 2024. I don't know where this year went. And I have a whole list of things that I want to share. I found it to be a year of growth for myself, definitely a year of impact, and as always, a lot of gratitude. So, as we get close to ending 2024, which again, I can't believe we're almost there, I've had a lot of reflection on the incredible journey that I've had this year, both personally and professionally. Personally, I became a nanny again for the second time in the summer, which just brings so much joy to my life. And the passing on of love and experience and wisdom to my two beautiful granddaughters. Eleanor is now 2.5, and Marigold is going to be turning 6 months. And being a grandmother, a nanny, whatever you choose to call yourself, I'm carrying on the name Nana because I had an Irish Nana. For those of you who follow me, and she had great impact on my life. And to see my daughter be a mother to her daughters, it's just one of the best things in the world. So the summer was very busy because Marigold joined us, and I had a lot of fun playing with my then 2-year-old granddaughter. And it makes me think about all of the wisdom and silliness and imagination and curiosity that we often pack away when we become an adult. And that has certainly been rejuvenated for me becoming a nanny. So, what did I do this year that wowed myself? Oh my gosh, I have a whole list here. And again, these are milestones. This isn't ego, this isn't bragging. This is, hey, here's what I set out for myself a year ago, and what got ticked off and what's moving ahead, and why, and life always gets in the way. So I've continued to teach at Fanshawe College. I have been there since 1990. It's been a 34 plus year relationship. I've done consulting, I've done coaching, I've done facilitating, I've done speaking. My micro credential leadership series that I created in the middle of COVID is still going strong. And what surprised me this year was the amount of international students that I was teaching virtually, and the conversations that we had, and just the cornerstone of what I always talk about: our job, our company, our location, our role, our responsibilities. At the end of the day, all those extrinsic measures don't matter because we all share in the same difficulties in life, in leadership, and that was so evident for me teaching every semester this year. And again, made it meeting some incredible students from other countries and learning their stories and challenges in the workplace. Truly rewarding. And there's nothing better to me than teaching with heart centered leadership principles and authenticity, and just wrapping in that emotional intelligence that we all try to do our best with every single day. The other exciting thing is my book, The Heart Centered Leadership Playbook. It's a year old now. It remains in the top 10 on Amazon. I'm still getting beautiful reviews and emails and pictures and stories of impact. And I don't take those lightly. And when I wrote this playbook, that was the vision. This wasn't a one and done. This is a playbook that's going to continue to be highlighted and pages, bent over to go back, bending the corner, post-it notes, all the things, writing in the columns. I appreciate all of the feedback. And I decided in January to narrate my book. And it was an emotional experience. It took me 8 weeks. It's 5.5 hours of audio. And again, serendipity, it went live on Audible on my Nana's birthday, which was March 11th. So that to me was just another goosebumpy moment and just another really personal milestone that I achieved. And I love my book. Everybody keeps asking me what's next. I'm working on a few different ideas. So I'm going to ask you to put a pin on that and stay tuned. Another thing that really hit me in the heart this year is I'm continuing to coach on a global level with impact. I am empowering hearts globally. And I've got to work with teams this year. I've done so many fireside chats. We've had the deep conversations, the uncomfortable conversations, the truthful conversations about culture and really leaning in to leaders at different levels to get teams functioning again, to regain trust. That's been a really big element post pandemic. So big that I had an online heart centered leader symposium with a colleague of mine, Kristen Woods. And again, global representation and hearing from all of the conference attendees and delegates. We all have the same problems at the end of the day in the workplace. Doesn't matter what country we're in, doesn't matter what level of leadership. Again, another confirmation that that is happening. I've explored some new ideas. I've started some new collaborations. And I also returned to speaking from the stage this year, which I hadn't done since pre COVID. And I spoke at some companies, I spoke at some wellness events, some health events, some women's leadership events. And that to me was just exciting to be back, another renewal of who I was before COVID that's returned, which has been amazing. So here's the juicy part. This year was not without its challenges. I had moments of self doubt. I had fears of what if I fail? But again, I renew that spirit of my own resilience, my own self compassion, and I continue to lead with heart and all the heart centered leadership principles that I talk about. It's not always easy, but I've met some incredible people on my podcast this year. We are in season 5, which is mind blowing to even say. We have a presence in 87 countries for global listenership. That just warms my heart to continue. And just the incredible people that I have met on the podcast continue to inspire. I learned something. There has been great friendships. I get sent so many great books. There's an imperfect moment. I forgot to turn my phone off. There has been so many beautiful books that I have received and read. And yesterday I cleaned out the library in my office because it was overflowing with books. And I've donated those books so that they're in the hands of young leaders now. Love spending time with young leaders. I love their curiosity. I love their imagination. And I love being a little farther down the road to share not only my knowledge, but my wisdom, and to let them know that you can be kind and it's not a weakness. And all of the things that I heard as a young leader and entrepreneur back in the 90s. Times have changed and people are embracing it. People have asked, what are goals for next year? I've decided I'm going to keep them to me in my journal. I've got some big goals. There's a couple of things that I didn't get to this year as I chose to spend time with my family and my grandchildren and on our beautiful boat on Lake Erie. And I've just realized that I've accumulated so much knowledge that I've gained a balance to have joy in my life first and foremost. I have put huge boundaries in place for technology. I disconnect completely at the end of my workday and on the weekends. And that mental clarity and time of rest is needed for all of us. We do not have to be on all the time. So, my word for 2025 is two words, it's joy and simplicity. And I will carry those two words anchored to my why to continue to be a heart centered executive and leadership coach. I'm continuing to teach at Fanshawe. I'm continuing with the podcast. I will be adding another academic institution, which I'll share with you in the new year, that I'm also going to be teaching at, that I'm super excited about. And I'm starting the new year in the US speaking at a huge women's leadership conference. So there's lots of fun things on the horizon. I'm taking time to be intentional, to ensure what I'm doing brings me joy, to make sure it's anchored to my why. And I love what I'm doing. And I've heard this over and over. And I remember my dad used to say this, if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. And that's truly the space that I'm in, being on this earth for 58 years. So I want to wish all my listeners happy holidays, whether you're by yourself and having that quiet, introspective time to be with oneself and continue that level of self awareness and really knowing who that inner leader is in your life and leadership, mastering that art of heart. Or if you're surrounded with friends and family, whatever it may be for you, I want to wish you all the best for the holiday season. I'm actually going away for Christmas with my family this year, something that's always been on the list and continuing to tick things off my list. So, from my home to yours, happy holidays to you and your family, and wishing you all the best for 2025. Take care.